Hey everybody. Not quite sure if it's live yet. Gosh, it does take forever. It says it's live in one place and then it's kind of doing the twirly thing in another place. Hello everybody and happy Wednesday. I hope you're having an amazing week. I'm delighted because the sun is out again. Woo-hoo. We did have a really awful bit of time, a bit of weather I should say, just recently, and it does kind of make you feel a bit rubbishy when you had some sunshine, because we did last weekend. It was gorgeous, and then it went crap again. So anyway, I am here today and I'm going to be speaking to you a little bit about self-awareness. And I put a post out yesterday about, kind of how you feel about your own self-awareness. Do you feel that you are self-aware? Before I get into that, I'm just going to remind you. So those of you, those lovely new members that we've got joining us here in this group, my name's Anita McKenna and I am here to support you. I help ambitious life coaches, gosh, went out of my head completely then, ambitious life coaches who are kind of want to show up confidently and be more visible, so that they can attract more clients. I'm here to help you to sort of awaken your true self so that you can be your that version of yourself that you want to be out there, for people to see you. So I'm here, like I say, to talk today a little bit, or to share with you some of my experience of self-awareness, how to gain more self-awareness so that you can be more aware of your own self, be more aware of what goes on for yourself, so that you can awaken your true self and begin to kind of be the woman that you want to be. So as I said just today, how self-aware do you feel you are? How much do you kind of connect in with yourself? Because if you take all of those labels away, mum, daughter, wife, sister, colleague, all of those very different things, if you take all of those away, how well do you identify with yourself? How aware of who you actually are beneath all of those labels? As women, we do so often take care of everybody else's needs. We look after our children, we look after our partners, we look after, say, colleagues and all that kind of things. We do prioritize everybody else's needs. Often, I'm not saying all of us do that, but we do so often prioritize other people and their needs above our own, which kind of then deprioritizes ours. So we become less aware of who we are and what we need and kind of what goes on for us. We kind of suppress some of our emotions, some of our reactions to take care of others and their needs. So the kind of self-awareness almost disappears as we stop connecting with those feelings. We stop connecting with what our body is trying to tell us, what's kind of going on within ourselves. So really, I would love for you to begin to take some time to connect in with yourself, connect in with what's going on inside your body. And I'm going to share 5 tips of how you can do that in just a moment, because it's so important that in order for us to feel sort of genuinely feel like our true self, that we are being true to ourselves, honouring ourselves, it's so important that we have that self-awareness so that we can kind of go inwards and connect with kind of what's going on inside. It can be tricky at times because we do kind of need to sit quietly with ourselves in order to listen, to feel, to hear what our body is trying to say to us. And sitting quietly can sometimes feel like we're just wasting time, and who's got time to waste these days? It's it can feel like we're doing nothing, and we just don't. We often don't give ourselves that space to do nothing. It's not doing nothing, it's actually connecting in, but that's kind of what we feel like sometimes. Even just allowing ourselves 5 minutes to just sit quietly and connect. So let me start with these tips. There we go. We've got 5 tips here, and I did just want to say that I've worked with hundreds of clients over the past 10 years, and one of the first areas that we always start with is in this space, kind of looking at your own self-awareness, identifying your true self, beginning to look at who you are, kind of a lot of people feel like they've lost their self, as it were. So that's the first area that I work with, so that we can begin to uncover some of that, awaken your true self, and begin to be you as a person, rather than one of those very many people with all of those different hats of mom, wife, sister, whatever it is that we have. So let's get going. 5 tips, 5 top tips for us to begin gaining our self-awareness. And so number one is simply pay attention to your body. And this is what I was saying before, it can feel difficult to just sit quietly for a couple of minutes and tune in to what our body is kind of saying to us. Our body is constantly giving us signals. So when we get those aches and pains, it can be that, they're the things that we need to just, prime example today, I was due to go out for a run this morning with my lovely running buddy. We're doing the Couch to 5K together. Because I'm preparing to do a half marathon later in the year. My back was absolutely killing me today, and I just couldn't do it. I knew that if I did it, it was just going to make my back so much worse. So I was able to listen to my body. I was able to honour myself, rather than stick to the commitment that I'd made with my friend, that we were going to meet up and go for the run. And she understood it. She wasn't funny or anything. But it's kind of listening to your body, actually tuning in and hearing what your body's trying to say. So when you notice sort of butterflies, or a little bit of anxiety or whatever in your gut, tune into that. So get a bit of, give yourself a bit of time to explore, what is that? Where's that coming from? What is beneath those butterflies? Kind of what's going on for yourself. Get that insight into what's going on inside for you. Kind of, it's a process, a thought, a feeling, and a belief. The thought has gone to the feeling. So understanding, what is that feeling that's going on? What's the thought that's behind that emotion? Number 2 is create a morning routine. Now, I love my morning routine, and I really notice when I don't do it. So for me, my personal morning routine is I go and make myself a hot lemon drink. I will do, this is quite new, this bit of it, go and do some Pilates, which I'm quite enjoying. I'm only doing sort of 10 minutes or so in the mornings at the moment. Go and do some Pilates, then I'll get my coffee, and I will come and sit here in my office and do my affirmations. And what that does is, obviously, the Pilates gives me time to connect with my body, gets me to sort of listen in and hear what's going on in my body. But then coming and doing my affirmations puts me in the right headspace to spend my day. Some of my affirmations are kind of, I kind of keeping myself in a positive mental attitude, always looking for the good things in my life. Some of them are sort of some of my financial goals, some of them my physical body goals, but it's kind of getting myself into that space of being the woman that I want to be. So that's my morning routine, and I love it. And like I say, I really notice it when I don't do it, especially if I do it, miss it for a couple of days. But for you, kind of beginning to think, what would you like to do? How could you ground yourself in this present moment? And, literally, whether you've got 2 minutes or 2 hours to spend, it's just setting that intention that I'm going to take this bit of time right here to ground myself in this moment. And it could be that you choose to do some meditation, like say some Pilates, some exercise, affirmations, visualization. What else have we got written down here? Journaling, because that's an amazing one to kind of explore what's going on beneath the surface in our brain. But it is just setting that intention, starting your day from that beautiful grounded space, so that you set the intention for how you would like your day to continue. Yeah. So that's number 2, create a morning routine. Number 3, notice your thoughts and feelings. So I mentioned before about, when we get those butterflies in our tummies, they tend to come from a thought and into a feeling. And when we notice what thoughts are going on for us, when we notice the feelings that are coming up for us, we can do something with them. So unhelpful thoughts, those limiting beliefs, or the BS stories that we tell ourselves of why we can't do something, or why something bad's always going to happen. Notice that thought, and then choose, do I want to keep hold of that? Or could I challenge that? Could I make that be something different? And then observe the feelings that are connected to that. So we have these unhelpful thoughts, these limiting beliefs and what have you. They go into a feeling, and it can be, some of those, like I say, the butterflies, the anxiety feeds into those kind of things. And then just noticing the feeling that comes up from that and having some compassion around it. So, for example, I could have had an unhelpful thought this morning of, oh, I always let myself down and don't bother going for the run. And I could have very easily got into that thought process. And, I'm sure there was a bit of that thought in there this morning of, you're just making excuses. You could have done it if you really tried. Noticing the feeling that comes up from that, that feeling of letting myself down, of letting other people down, and just having a little bit of compassion with that feeling, because it makes sense that I might feel that way. The truth is, no, physically, yes, I probably could have done the run, but it wouldn't have been good for me. It actually was supporting myself, was the real reason behind not going for the run. So it's just having some compassion for that feeling of, letting people down. I understand why I feel that, but actually I was honouring myself rather than, honouring other people's expectations. That's the word. Yeah. So challenging those unhelpful thoughts, challenging those limiting beliefs, and choosing more helpful thoughts, and that can really help you to understand the emotional sort of patterns that come up. And then you can have better coping strategies. So instead of automatically having those thoughts of, I always let people down, or, I never do what I say I'm going to do, it's kind of having the much more helpful thought of, and like I said, acknowledging the feeling of, I understand why that thought comes in. I understand why that feeling's there. However, what I was actually doing was supporting it and honouring myself rather than honouring other people's expectations, because ultimately it's ourselves that we should be our own priority, kind of thing. So that's number 3. Notice your thoughts and feelings. Yeah. Number 4, and this, I love this one. This is something I speak a lot about in my masterclass that I do, and it's simply be yourself. So just embrace your uniqueness, and especially those quirks or flaws, those things that make you very, very unique to other people. We all have our own unique quirks and flaws. We all have our own special qualities that make us be the person that we are. Every single person on this earth, there's now 8 billion people on this earth, we all have something that's unique about us. So instead of trying to pretend to be that person, fit into that cookie cutter thing that you believe, or we can believe, is going to make us be more liked or whatever, and especially in this online world, this is something that I've had to work really hard at, is rather than believing I should be Amy Porterfield, or I should be, I can't even think of another one at the moment, Denise Duffield Thomas, because I love her, completely wrong colour and everything, but instead of trying to be them, be you, be yourself, because if you be yourself, people will love you for you rather than that kind of almost fake version of you that you're trying to put out there, that people can't quite connect with, they can't quite get hold of, because it's not actually you. So being yourself, celebrating your gorgeous, unique qualities, just as you obviously celebrate others and you embrace other people. So, you don't have a go, or you don't, we may, but generally speaking, we don't criticise others for having their own unique qualities. So it's kind of being as generous with yourself as you are with those. So number 4, be yourself. And then number 5 is practice self-reflection. And this is a beautiful kind of round off to your day. So at the end of the day, reflect back on the day. Look at, what did you do that day? What went well? What didn't go so well? What can you really celebrate yourself for? What can you acknowledge as an achievement for the day? and what would you like to manage differently in the future? What would you like to do differently? So if something didn't go so well, how would you like to manage that in the future? What would you like to have done differently from, and it's kind of looking at it from your highest self. If you were being the woman that you want to be, how would you have liked to have managed that situation? And then actually going ahead and having that as a plan for the future. So beginning to look at, how you did respond, how you did react, how would you like to do in the future? Okay, so now I've got that in my back pocket, and it's kind of using it as a learning experience rather than something to berate yourself for. So there we go. 5 is practice self-reflection. So just going to run through them again. So number 1 is pay attention to your body. Listen to your body. Notice the aches and pains, but notice the butterflies, the anxiety, and then choose what you want to do with that. Notice where they're coming from. Number 2, create that morning routine. Start your day in a way that you want to start the day. Start with intention and kind of setting the standard for the day. That's it. Being grounded and having a lovely morning routine. Again, whether it's 2 minutes or 2 hours, it doesn't matter. It's setting the intention to be in this present moment. Number 3, notice your thoughts and feelings. Thoughts go to feelings, come to beliefs, and it's kind of notice your thoughts, challenge those unhelpful thoughts, notice the feelings, and observe them without judgment. Understand, have a bit of compassion for where they came from, and then look at how you would like to manage those in the future. Excuse me. Number 4, be yourself. Don't try to be anybody else because they're already taken. I know there's that phrase of not trying to be somebody else. Be you. Just be you. Be authentically you. Do these exercises, do these things, so that you feel comfortable being you. You're not trying to be anybody else, and embrace your uniqueness. Your uniqueness. As you embrace other people's uniqueness. No, don't judge yourself more harshly than you. Gosh, can't say it at all now. Don't judge yourself more harshly than you would judge other people. And number 5, practice self-reflection. So at the end of the day, reflect on your day, celebrate and acknowledge your achievements from the day, because you will have achieved something at some point during that day. Whether it was literally getting out of bed in the morning. I know for me today, that was a challenge. That really was. It was hard work. But acknowledge and celebrate those achievements that you've got through the day. Notice the things that didn't go so well, but use them as a learning experience. Use that to grow from, so that next time you face a similar experience, you kind of know better what to do. You know how you would like to handle that. Yeah. So there's your 5. Following these may well push you out of your comfort zone, but you are going to get so much insight. You're going to get so much self-awareness from this, so that you're able to genuinely awaken that true self, awaken that version of yourself that you want to be. Just because something is sort of aura, so you've already been a certain way, you get to choose whether you continue a behaviour or whatever going forward. You don't have to, just because you've done something in the past doesn't mean you have to do that going forwards. I can't tell you how different I am in how I show up in the world these days compared to how I used to be. I'm so different, vastly different, and you get to choose that. We get to choose the person that we become. So learning from these 5 tips, getting that self-awareness, and then discovering who you are, taking all of those hats off and who you are and who you want to be. If there's something in there that doesn't feel right, then looking at how you would like that to be. So that's it for today. I hope you found these helpful. If you would like these 5 tips as a downloadable PDF, then please do just pop a heart in the bottom in the chat. Sorry, elbow. Pop a heart into the chat, and I will get that across to you, get the PDF across to you. If you'd like my support in going further into this self-awareness about kind of awakening your true self, showing up confidently, if you'd like my support, then please either message me, just a direct message here in Facebook, or I've put the link in there. Book a call with me and let's have a chat, and let's see what we can do together to support you to become that best version of yourself, you know, to be visible, to be that empowered woman who is able to show up confidently. So anitamckenna.com/apply is the link for that. So if you want to do that, but the link should be there in the comment, not in the comments, in the title bit, you know. That's it. I hope you enjoyed it. Please do let me know. Do you find this helpful? Is there any of these 5 that you particularly love? Let me know how you're getting on with them. And I will see you again soon. All right, you take care. Bye.